we all know iGuide, but just to recap for the new people that are on, iGuide is a tool that we use to provide 3D virtual tours, detailed floor plans, and we include a few other cool things with it, like Google Analytics and the ability to share and all these kind of stuff. I won't get into that. I'll let Michael show you. I'll show you the tools. Sorry, guys, have a drink here. A lot of this we just touched on, so I'll just kind of let you read through them. But how can virtual tours attract more business? Well, it's like we just said, people want to know where they're going. People, if they're traveling, especially this day and age, how do we make them feel more comfortable? How do we save them some time? So that's definitely one for sure. This is a big one. Show your clients the potential a property has with virtual renovations. Again, I'm going to skip through some of these pretty quickly because Mike's going to give you the sample and then we're going to come back and answer some questions. So I'm going to show you just a few of the cool things. Again, we talk a lot about real estate. So from a business point of view, I think how you ingest the information is a little bit different and it's a little bit less information. So again, we can showcase before and after through the floor plans, through the VR, and we talk about renovators and flippers. If you're renovating your business, your contractors can use all these great tools. Our measurements are very accurate. Again, Michael will give you a little bit further of an explanation there. At the end of the day, we use a lot of these statistics in the real estate world, and it matters the same for business. 85% increase, virtual tours increase booking. So I look at it in the context, if I have a small business, as I just mentioned earlier, I'm traveling. Well, that changes today. Before, it was nothing for you to get in the car and drive 45 minutes or an hour to go to Yorkdale or go to your favorite shoe store in Vaughan or, Port Credit. Now that's changed because you don't know what's going to happen when you get there. You don't know what's going on there. So we have the ability, again, to keep updated and showcase, of your space, your business, right down to your inventory. And the tours are updated. So we've done some warehouse work. It was a manufacturer that needed to showcase their product. And in order to keep their clients and employees and everybody safe and healthy, they had to find a way to bring the two worlds together. We provided a solution. And we were live with them in 3 days. So that's, again, something we don't really, talk enough about, but it's the quick turnaround. The technology has made everything. The quality of the service and the value is not lacking just because, some people say, oh, well, how is it done in 2 days? Well, it's like, how are we spending $6 to rent movies 10 years ago? And now I can spend $16 and watch as many movies as I want. Technology is changing the way we live. And this technology, and there's only a few other providers of similar technology in the space. They're really revolutionizing, the world. So again, nothing like a virtual showing or a virtual tour that's going to create confidence. And then furthermore, convenience. Really, I preach a lot. Consumers want three things: convenience, value, and ease. If you can give your customers convenience, value, and ease, you're creating the ultimate customer experience. It's going to be hard for them to want to go somewhere else. So you're creating extra confidence in your business with your clients, your customers, and you can really give them, it's a great, clients naturally feel more affinity with a business they can see. Again, make them want to feel safe coming to you, make them want to feel like the convenience, the value, the ease is, hey, we're going to save you your time. You know what you're coming. We're going to talk to you ahead. We're going to show you what you have. And that's going to bring more people to you. Whether they're doing curbside pickup or coming into your store, there's a stat, I don't think it's on this deck. We were looking at it the last deck. We're into like the 80, 90 percentile now, wherein people are making a decision online before they're going. It's got nothing to do with where they're buying. I'm not talking about e-commerce. I'm talking specifically about the hordes of people that are getting out of their houses and wanting to go places. They are all on their phone, their computer, on Google for a very long time before they're coming to your store now. So that's the problem we're offering a solution for. The technology provides the solution for. So we get into things like the Google Business Tours, and Mike's going to show you a few samples. This is that's a Boss Leather location in Bolton, and they have a location in Toronto. We went in and we did tours for them, their website. They were ready. This was way before COVID, but now they have a full showroom and they're a custom manufacturer. So for them, it's perfect. They get to get online with somebody, walk them through the tour, And then the person can make their appointment and come in. So there's so many different facets. We have the ability with this technology to broadcast live tours. So one of the reasons we've decided to up the game in our studio is we're actually going to start to offer these live broadcasting of these tours, whether it's a home or an art gallery, or a local business. Maybe we're offering these local business showcases. Maybe here I'm finally, after 11 weeks, plugging some service that we're going to come out with, but it's kind of coming in my head as I go every week. We kind of keep building, and I guess that's the point. That's how fast the game is changing right now, that we're literally making these pivots in these spaces. And the demand is so rampant that we can't bring in people on the content production side, whether it's photographers or drafters. So again, just case in point, the evidence is everywhere that the change is here to stay. I talk a lot about it in professional services, real estate, lawyers, doctors, and the CRA. We're all still using fax machines just a few months ago. That's mind-blowing in 2020 and a half. Like, it's almost 2021. So again, if you own a bricks and mortar store in 2020 and you don't have a Google business profile, no problem, but Google's pushing you back so far, all of your competitors. It doesn't matter how much money you spend. Organic will always win when you do it properly. This is another cool thing, like you can do these virtual showrooms, and I don't know if Mike's gonna show you guys a museum or a car dealership, but either example is pretty awesome, and you'll really get to see sort of what I'm talking about. Same thing with the kids' daycare, which is really, this is a big category right now, daycares and dentists. I mean, I don't have to explain why, given the situation. So again, it's all about creating confidence. It's all about having your consumers really feel comfortable with their surroundings before, they get there. There's no, I don't think many people are leaving too much for chance anymore. So, your current clientele, those relationships you have, the ones you've already built the trust with, you're okay. But if you want to capture new business in today's world, how we do that across all industry has changed dramatically. So I'll stop talking because I haven't stopped for 17 minutes, and I'm going to let Mike do his thing. Mike, so Mike, remember there's some new people on, some business owners, not just real estate agents. So if you can just take a couple of minutes and start with the report. So just to give you like a quick FYI, like when you Mike's going to show you some samples, but he's going to start with, somebody shows up to your business, they have this fancy camera, they do all this stuff, and then 2 days later you get this email. Mike is going to take it from the email.
Perfect. Thanks, John. I'm trying to arrange this here.
Mike's just getting back in his office after the home affair for the last 12 months. I say, you got a different background today. He's like, it's about time.
Yes, it's about time. It needed a change. And I also have a different computer today. So it's giving me a little bit of trouble. Can you see how to get your online listing?
Yeah, you're up. Yeah, you're good to go, buddy.
Perfect. Thank you. So, as you mentioned, John, we'll get into more of the business side of it, but I'll kind of touch on what the iGuide is and how it's helping, especially in real estate right now. We know that we kind of had a delayed spring market. July really hit that. You saw the trend numbers come out this week. It was crazy in terms of the numbers year over year, and the seasonal adjusted numbers were really dramatic, almost to 50% change on it. And so really that spring market was delayed by a couple months. So what the iGuide does is really, it's an opportunity to get the information that buyers want to see online when they're searching for a home, so that they can make that decision if they are interested in going and seeing that home. And especially now, dealing with what you don't want people coming in and out of the home if they're not really serious. You don't want those lucky loos or the neighbors coming to look at the house. They can go online, they can see that the details of the home that they've always wanted to look at. But more importantly, you're getting better qualified leads, people that are seriously interested in putting a bid on or looking at that home, and getting the information that they need to understand to really understand that property for them. So just, quick thing, what it's doing is we're giving sellers, what is sellers looking for? They're still looking for a real estate professional to help them sell their home. That's still number one. Number two is, how quickly or the time frame in terms of selling that home. And if you can help them sell typically faster, it's going to help you better. And I'm just going to run through iGuide. As I show you the iGuide, what we included in it, it's all the top things buyers are looking for. So detailed information about the property, not only the price, but as well the room sizes, the total area calculations of the home. Is that home right for me and my family? Okay. Things like floor plans that help them really understand how that home fits and flows. Is it, exactly right for, how that flow and the amount of storage that me and my family need. And then other information like real estate contact information. Recently, with dealing with this pandemic, we've seen recently that Realtor.com did a study where they went through survey of asking buyers, home buyers, what they thought would be important through these times. And virtual tour came up as number one. What was interesting was number two is accurate and detailed listing information as a key important factor, that making sure that the information that you're putting online about a listing is accurate, that it is information that they can rely on. So I'm just going to pop over and just give you a quick demo of what the iGuide is. As it loads here, it's a great way to engage with the property. It's an iframe, so just like a YouTube video, you can embed this into your website. So if you drive traffic back to your website, you want to get those leads back to you, where you can capture them and keep them on your website, you can embed the iGuide onto your website. But what makes us unique is really how you engage with the property, how you move it around and fit and flow and understand that property. And what makes us unique is the easy navigation. So as you see this tracking comb motion, you can always see and you know where you are in the space. You don't get lost. What's nice about this, though, is you can go directly to those key points that you want to see. So if you're a home buyer, you have certain criteria in mind, and you say, you know what, I want to see that kitchen, because if the kitchen's not right, we're going to move on to the next property. Or I want to understand if that kitchen's going to be right or can be renovated. Is this property right for me? What's also great about the iGuide is it includes all these things like photos and video. You can include all those links together when you list that property. And on realtor.ca, it will pull all that information onto the listing page, so that you've got all your marketing. You don't have to pick and choose. Do I want to put the video up? Do I want to put the 3D tour? You can put it all together on those listings. The other one nice thing right now is that it gives the users ability to go in there and see if their furniture is going to fit. And they can go on screen. As you can see on the left-hand side here of the floor plan, I quickly just measuring out on the floor plan. Running through things quickly today, John. I don't know why. I think it's been a short week. I feel like I've been running all week. With that, you're going to get an iGuide report, and this gives you all the information that you need to share on social media.
Hey, I'm sorry, but I have to do this. But am I that much of an ass? You're amazing. We love you. You can take all. Sometimes I don't think I ever told you too long. I love you. You're doing a great job. Thanks for always making me look so good. I'll mute myself again, but I love you too, brother.
Oh, I feel like I'm running. I've been on.
You're doing a fantastic job.
Well, thank you, sir. It just, this. I think I'm not used to being out of my basement. Maybe that's it. All the links in here that you're going to get on the iGuide report is what you need to load that listing in. So branded links for your social media, unbranded links for your MLS. Realtor.ca or Creo will pull that unbranded link. They'll populate the Realtor.ca listing with your iGuide. And then down below, they'll grab the floor plans and they'll populate it with a floor plan button as well. You'll get even a download version of the offline version of the iGuide you can give to the buyers, so that they don't have to disrupt your sellers when they want to go in and measure for curtains and go online and share it with their designers and figure out how much paint they want to have. You get 360 photospheres that you can share on social media. Say, hey, coming soon, check out this living room. You want to see the rest of the property? Reach out to me, and you can send them the 3D tour, the walkthrough. Embedding tools for your website, and then all the measurement information that you need for your listing. And more importantly, on the back end, you're going to get analytics. And these analytics are going to help you in terms of showing value to your clients. All the work that you've done in terms of marketing the property. And as we touched on, that's still the number one thing that sellers are looking to you for, is help them market and sell that home. And can you do that faster or quicker? We did a study with iGuide, looked at 9,000 homes on a rolling 12 months versus photos, 39% less days on market. And versus other virtual tours and just video, we were 14% less days on market. We helped sell those homes faster and for more. The other things that you see on the analytics report are things like unique visitors and returning visitors. So you can show your sellers, hey, like we had a lot of people come through the home. This is, you know, we've had a lot of people return. This is the value that we brought to the table. Or you can either, you know, we haven't had these conversations a lot recently, but in other markets where you're more days on market, you know, you can have conversations. Maybe the price is too high. We're not getting the bids that we wanted on that property. We're still getting a lot of views, but maybe we need to look at that price point and adjust it. So these are the conversations you could have.
Hey, Mike, before you show samples, I'm gonna just interrupt for a second, because you know, although you're talking to it from a real estate point of view, the analytic report on the business tools is the same. So just to sum up what Mike's talking about, and then he'll show you some reports, is all of those analytics, you know, every reference point with respect to a home buyer, it's the relevance is the same. At the end of the day, you know, managing your business marketing, you're going to have a lot more tools, a lot more data available on this back end tool. So again, it's just one of these things where, you know, when we, this 5 or 7 years ago, with the original application being real estate, it was always about space. So very, very, very naturally, we're just laying commercial on top of it. So thanks so much for going over that, Mike. I know that that's tedious for you because you do it all day, every day, but I appreciate it. And so does the viewers.
Absolutely. Well, and so now I guess the transition into the conversation that we're having today about your business and business spaces and getting in to look at other spaces for business purposes. So maybe not for consumers, but for stakeholders within a company. Those are some of the things we'll touch on. But what this does is, you know, for a small business especially, and especially now where people are nervous about where they're going and how comfortable they're going to feel going into a space, what that company, that small business or large business is doing to make sure that my safety as a consumer is taken care of. What this does is this allows people to go and explore that space ahead of time, build that confidence in what the space looks like, understanding, you know, is this place a dump? Is this place a nice, clean, open, you know, whatever it is that you want to portray about your business, that it's very inviting. You know, where I see this is really useful is in spaces where you're, as a consumer, interacting with the space. So one example I use is there's a kid's playroom that's by our house in our neighborhood. We live in the Bloor West area, and we live in a very small house. When we would have our kids' birthday parties, we would rent out or have them at different locations. And my wife would always want to go check it out and see, like, you know, where are we going to set up the cake? How are we going to interact with the space? Where are the kids going to play? You know, what are they going to do after the interaction? And what's great about this is when they had something like the iGuide on there, you could see a floor plan. You could see where they're going to have, this is the area where you're going to have the cake. You could walk through, you could see the play area. And it was like, oh, it saved us a trip going there. Just call them up and booked it online. It was fantastic in terms of building that trust and understanding how our kid's birthday party was going to work. So you think about things that are going on right now, and what we've seen recently. One of our customers is using the iGuide right now to go through a large organization has, you know, they have multiple buildings across the province. These are large office spaces, and they are redesigning their space. So what they've done is they've gone in with the iGuide and created floor plans. They've taken these floor plans in DXF files, which all that means is that you could put it up into an AutoCAD or a CAD file, and they've used space planning furniture. They've reconfigured the space with those floor plans with space planning furniture so that they could share or redesign that space as people have been coming back to work, so that there's distance, they have safe distances, that they reuse that space appropriately. And so it's been a huge cost savings for them and time savings in regards to that. So
Well, they mitigate the people that are coming. So can you show, I cut your screen share so we could hear you talk more. I should have done it earlier because you were
sorry.
that's okay. You were giving some very good points. I wasn't going to stop you. But can you show, now can you show the viewers some of these actual samples, walk them through some of these businesses, show some of the examples you were talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So, and these aren't maybe specific to the ones that I mentioned. Those ones I can't share. So, but I'll give you an example of it. So, in this one, John, this, kids gallery in Vaughan, right? The school here. Well, you've got a school or a preschool, and you've got people coming into the school, and how is that space going to work for me and my family? Is it somewhere where I want to send my kids? I remember when I was taking my kids for daycare, we went to several different places, and a couple of places were grungy. They were dirty, and it was like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable sending my kid here. But look at this place. This is something that would build confidence for you, and that, hey, this is on our website. Take a look, see the happy pictures, the happy kids, how the space works, how the spaces can close off. We can close the doors. We can keep kids in pods. We can keep them separated. So if something does happen, that pod goes home. Like, there's new ways that we're interacting with space, and new ways that we're interacting with one another. And how do we design the spaces and share that with people? And so this is a fantastic example of what they've done. Other ways that you can do it too is you can put, your certain panels, or the 360s that we talk about, on Google My Business. Well, what's that? Well, when people are searching, most people are looking for a business, they're searching online. They go to Maps and they type in, preschool, or Audi dealership, or, want to go look at that car dealership. And this is an example that you type in, you click on, you want to go see what the showroom looks like. You can click on the showroom here. And as it pops up, you've got nice photos, but you can also click on the 360s within the showroom. And now you can look around the showroom and say, oh, wow, like, this place is gorgeous. Big and airy. I can go in and check it out. Let's go down to that dealership. It just helps build, again, confidence that these guys are the cat's meow when you talk about car dealerships or whatever that business is. And there's some other examples. We've had places like here, which is QK. This is in Kitchener-Waterloo area, and for some reason it's not loading. I don't know what just happened. Sorry. Where you can interact with that space. Again, go into that coffee shop, understand what that space is. You're not sharing all of it. And let's see if it can load. Here, we finally got it. But now you can go into the space and say, hey, there is some seating. Right now, in Toronto, we're not quite yet inside spaces, but I think in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, they are actually in some spaces inside. And, is everybody separated? Do they have appropriate distancing? Is there enough room in there for, me to go check out as well? That's some other types of businesses that are in there. I am having troubles today with this. I normally work on a PC, and I'm on a Mac today, and I tell you, it's a world night and day difference. But we talked about museums. This is an interesting one. So I've shown on previous Real Talks that the museum of the Rembrandt Museum. And this is a great story in terms of, not a great story, but for what they've done to make the most of a bad situation is it's actually a sad story where they had an exhibit come in. It was a Rembrandt Museum come into the Alberta Art Gallery. They basically set it up. They have all these Rembrandt beautiful paintings, and COVID hit. They had to shut down. Now, they hadn't reopened yet, and I guess what I've heard is they had to send back that exhibit. So they never even got to share it. So photographers in our network was able to capture that museum. So now you could actually have a guided tour. And this is a neat one that's in Norway that I thought I'd share. It's something different to share. But basically they built a museum around a tall ship that that's in here, and you can go down to the different floors on the ship. You can check out the ship and what it's like to be on an old fashion sailing vessel. So again, allowing people to interact with the space, and you could have a guided tour. So this is something with that virtual showing that we talked about a couple weeks ago, where I could go into a virtual showing, have a bunch of people jump on. You wouldn't get all this lag that we're getting today. And I could, if I was at the museum, I could walk people through the museum and talk to them about why the masks were this tall and what these big white domes were for and how it all worked back in the days and what the rigging was for. And you could walk somebody through that, which has made it, quite exciting in terms of you're still now getting people into the space. Quick little story. My wife booked us to go downtown, and we went into, I think it was through the ROM. It was a Van Gogh exhibit, and they had done it all on the walls, John. It was pretty cool. You drive into a parquet, they closed off, you turned off your cars, and we had our kids with us. And
I saw this, I think, on the news or something. It's like, this is the whole thing. You have to be innovative today if you want to stay afloat, right?
It was awesome. We sat there. They announced that everybody that works with this exhibit and whatnot has been able to keep a job now because they're doing this. And it wasn't, it was a very reasonable price. And for what you got, it was a tremendous value. It was fantastic. And my kids loved it. My wife loved it. I enjoyed it. It was just a tremendous value. So again, being able to share spaces with people and use spaces differently. You make a big investment in these spaces, either for work, for real estate, for museums, for your business. How do you build confidence and then share it with the world as well? So other things I could quickly talk about. This is another museum as well that is in Toronto here. And it has, it's a little bit of a more modern museum, but you're able to kind of go through the space and check it out. And it's, very different modern photography and stuff like that as well. So I'm just taking a time check. But we talked about stakeholders on businesses. I own a building, or we as an organization own all these buildings. We need to send people down there to walk through it. Well, that takes time, and we don't want a bunch of people together walking through a space to check it out. Well, you can build those up onto websites. You can actually share these large spaces and capture and use these for facility documentation, for sharing, to have stakeholders walk through a property, for leasing purposes now. Okay, are you sure that you want to go look at the space? Let's take a walk through it. I can give you a guided tour with a virtual showing. And now, all right, you want to go see it, we can come down there and go see it. Or you can save people time. Hey, I'm in Calgary, or I'm in Toronto, and we need to lease a space in Calgary. What does that space look like? Or we need to check out a space and see what it looks like in terms of the state and condition of it. We need to make improvements on it. How much is that going to cost us? Now we can share that with different, construction companies where they can put bids on it and put it into the RFPs, as I talked about earlier. So other things too, which is neat, multifamily units, John. This is something, if you have a condo that's for sale or for lease or for rent, you can tie in other things that show you the amenities around the space. So, here's the balcony, but go down to the pool. Let's walk down, and now this is not in particular, it's in order and direction from the condo, but now I can see the amenities. This is what the pool looks like. Can I access it from my, if we have, we need wheelchair access, or we're on a, what's the accessibility access? Here's the different areas about the property. Here's the walkway out in front, so I get a better understanding of that property. There's a patio out in front in terms of the front entrance. This is where people come in. There's a green belt that I can go check out. So now I've shared everything, like all the different aspects of this property that make it great to rent or to lease or to sell, and really see, oh wow, this is right off on a marina, and there's some tennis courts across the street and parking and a nice green belt to go walking and jogging on. So just another great way and a different way to have people engage with the property and whatnot. And then lastly, you mentioned today, John, in terms of, being able to share a space with someone and show it instead of it being plain, going in and virtually, staging a space. You talked about it, doing it with builders, right? Before the pre-construction, before it's done and completed, you go in there and they design it. So now the builder can get that property on the market sooner rather than
any space to make. Yeah, like the virtual showings you touched on at the end. We have other, education or literature for that. But yeah, like that's something new we launched this summer where it's now seamless. So there's no bandwidth and you can literally have hundreds or thousands of people watching and listening to you. So no, but it's funny, Mike, as you're talking, I checked my email and McKinsey and Company. So this is the strap, my future maybe. This just came in. Can you see what that says? It says reinventing retail.
Nice.
All retailers need to rethink both digital and in-store sales. And it continues to go on. I didn't read too much of it because I had to get back, I didn't want to be rude to my own webinar, but just took 10 seconds because I wanted to reference it. So couple of questions that came in. First of all, Mike, you're awesome. And I hate Mac. I absolutely am not a Mac person. So I feel your pain. I wouldn't have been able to do today on a Mac. So, you killed it like you always do. So thank you. Couple of the questions that came in, I'll answer. And then before we log off, we ran a contest this week. So we're going to pick the winners live. So one of the questions came in about the exterior space, and you just showed it, and the question is, how do we do it? I mean, how is really irrelevant. The fact that we do it is the point, but I think how isn't necessarily the technical side. So what it means, and it's anonymous, so I can't address the individual, but we can now take the exterior space and dial it in with the 3D panoramic tour. We are not providing measurements and space plans of exterior space. So we're now taking, like Mike just showed you in that last sample. So let's say you're in the daycare. Well, now we can go back to the daycare and we can include the playground and the parking lot. Yeah. If you're a homeowner or if you have rental properties, we can include the amenities. We can take a drone and we can include an aerial. So now the people can not only see inside, but they see outside. So going full circle back to business, who knows where your business is? People want to be more comfortable street view. Like, what do I look like? What are the landmarks around? So, I mean, the applications and the tools that are there are like really limitless. And it's literally changing just week to week to week. Cost, time, and turnaround. So cost is really dependent on the space, but entry level in business, like, the value is extraordinary. Let's just say under $1,000, you can get 3,000 square feet, full Google profile, photo galleries, Google integration, and everything Mike just showed you. And then we go up from there. But even a 200,000 square foot facility is not costing you tens and tens of thousands of dollars. It's like, again, I use the Blockbuster example. And I use the Blockbuster example because in 2010 at the corner of Royal York and La Rose, I stood there and stared at Blockbuster and Netflix was like $8. And I said to Kathy, we should be buying this Netflix stuff. Anyway, we didn't. So now we do webinars on Fridays and we sell 3D tours. But ultimately, it's the same kind of premise. Cost effective, time and turnaround is quick. If we're shooting on a Monday, by the next Monday, your Google profile is done. Your tour is done and all your web and social media providers will have all of the content they need as well. So that's the one thing we didn't talk about because today wasn't a marketing session. It was more just a showcase, but the amount of content that you receive that can be retooled in other places pays for the job and then some, but that's for another conversation. So again, cost effective, tons of value, turnaround time of a week. And that doesn't matter how big the facility can be, 1,000 square feet or 1,000,000, we're still gonna get it back to you in a week. And then the last thing that was a question that Mike talked about was this live broadcasting, which is something I mentioned at the beginning. So we're still a few weeks away from bringing the vision to life. Like I said, all this gear, I said to somebody today, we ordered thousands of dollars worth of gear and we need these blackout curtains. And all the gear came the next day. The blackout curtains are going to be like 3.5 weeks. Some of this like, it's killing me, but we'll showcase the feature, we'll digitize it, we'll do some education because like Mike said, and like we showed you, it's changing and we're just we want to just stay ahead of the curve as much as possible. No pun intended, I guess, but we want to stay ahead of the curve as much as possible and just keep giving the value and keep offering the exceptional service. So
absolutely.
Right. And again, Mike, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Again, Mike's the vice president of a company that's in a space that's exploding and growing globally. And he's still giving us a ton of time week in and week out to do this. For myself, realtors in York and Durham, and my good friend Mike Farrick from Look Inside in the West End. And of course, we also service Toronto in between. So we're doing webinars sometimes twice a week between a few different boards and this stuff. And Mike's always there, even when he has to suck it up and use a Mac. Big ups. Now, I would have put a screen up that said John called in sick today, and it would have just been you and Cassandra. So without further ado, before everybody goes, or you can go if you want, we're just going to do this recorded live anyway. But I will screen share the randomizer. So we ran a contest for about a week where we had people log in and do some signups and whatever. We have about 30 entries. We're going to give away 3 prizes. The second and third prize winners are going to receive a free eye guide, and it can be for a business or a home under 3,000 square feet. And the grand prize winner is going to win our real, I don't even know what it's called now, our real ready solution with drone as well. So what that's going to get you is everything we talked about today, and or video work or a Google profile. So if a real estate agent win it, we're going to give you for your next listing eye guide and the full video package with drone. If a business owner wins it, we're going to give you the eye guide photo gallery with the Google profile. Either way, it's $1,000. So Cassandra, social media coordinator, who's started with us this summer, that's really helping me grow our internal brands. She put this contest together. She's here, she's offline, but she's online and she's listening. So she's going to take care and she'll reach out to the winners. So Mike, just bear with me for a couple more seconds. Let's go to the randomizer and we pick some winners.
I'll give you a quick fun fact while you're doing that. The last Blockbuster on earth is still open, even during COVID here in Bend, Oregon. Did you know that?
The last what?
The last Blockbuster. You brought up Blockbuster.
Oh, yeah, Blockbuster, right? Because there was like one in Alaska or something.
Well, no, it's in the last one that's open is in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that Vic? Okay, I think here it is. Okay, you guys got that?
Yeah.
So there's all the people that have entered, whether it's their email or their Instagram handle. We did a test earlier, that doesn't count. So here we go. The first winner, our third place winner of an eye guide is jindgill@gmail.com. Jin D. Gill. Jin, I'm going to say. Sandra will reach out to you. Next winner of an eye guide 3D tour is, this is my favorite part. We should give away some. Mike, you know what? Every week moving forward, we do a webinar. Anybody that registers, we're going to give away a free eye guide every Friday.
All right.
South Michael. So Michael South Michael, congratulations, our second prize winner. Okay, now, drum roll, please. Our grand prize winner, $1,000 value. I love this shit. Is, I can't even know. realestate@indiebar.com. I wish I knew who that was, but we have first and last names. Obviously, we're keeping privacy here. We're live and whatnot. So Cassandra will reach out to all our winners. We're going to post it on our social media. If Cassandra, if you can post the 3 winners' handles in the story, that'd be great. And once again, thank you, Michael. Thank you to all of our attendees. Thank you to all of our live viewers. And I look forward. Well, Mike, we have another one next week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. Everybody else, we're back for Real Talk 12 on the August 21st. Sign-up links are in the bios, and hope you all have a great weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Peace out. Oh, and don't forget to sign up and click the bell and do all the YouTube stuff that I forgot to mention today, and my guys are going to give me heck for. Woo!